A to point B. I want you to look behind me. And do you see this computer? This is the footage. This is the footage to the series. You guys just seen us on set. So this is what you see right here. This is the footage. This little thing right here, this is what the footage is on. You staying with me? This is a hard drive. There's 2 hours worth of footage on this hard drive. Okay, stay with me. I'm just being honest with you. There's an editor sitting right here. Can you just say hey?
Hey.
Okay. Again, it's damn near 3 o'clock in the morning. There's an angel sitting right here. Can you just say hey? Hey. My mom is right here.
Hey.
There's another angel that's sleeping. Okay. Again, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to explain this in a way because I'm frustrated. And I know a lot of you guys are trying to get a lot of information. I know you guys are trying to understand it. I know you guys are trying. There's a lot of you who want us dead. And I know that a lot of you are waiting for the day that we give up. There are survivors that are on here, that are still victims, that are still in this life. We are not doing this for anybody's benefit or gain. However, there are survivors who are still stuck. There are people who are still trying to figure out the answers to questions. There are people starving for truth. And then there's people like fake survivors. There's people like your truth tellers who charge you for money. There's people who are like the people that use our name for money, when sincerely this is the hell that we're going through. Now I'm going to show you one more time. This is the footage. Right here. It's on the computer. It's stuck right here. This is everything that it's on. This little hard drive we now have to leave the East Coast with. And there's an editor, say hi.
Hello.
Is sitting right here. Okay? There's another editor that's on the West Coast. There's another editor that's in the Midwest states. There's another editor that started this shit and was held at gunpoint and robbed. When we ask you to pray for people, or when we ask you to pray for these, you guys think they're characters, they're real people that are sitting here trying to make this shit possible in their power. Let me help you out. There's no white hat. There's no money. The truth costs more than you can collect for it. This little thing that's holding the footage costs money. This sensitive computer that's trying to transfer it to another editor costs money. Okay, now stay with me. Again, this is not for anybody's gain. But in order to bring you guys the truth in a way that you don't swipe and scroll and turn this off, in order to tell you the truth in order that we want it, in order to get this information out, it is hell in ways that I don't think y'all understand. After we finished filming on the set, even the editors were exhausted. Editors?
Exhausted. Couldn't even move.
The amount of evil that we are fighting is nothing easy, and is nothing that you could just build a fundraiser for. We tried to start off the second segment with an intro. There's footage that's already done that's sitting with another editor. Just stay with me for a second. Just hear me out, please. I'm going to turn my comments off because I just want you to hear me out for a second. I want you to just understand where I'm coming from. Can you just hear me out, please? I'm so frustrated and I'm trying to help y'all understand. And you know, the other thing is, is I'm trying to help other survivors understand, because I think y'all are seeing something else. You see us right here. You don't see what's behind this phone. You don't see the hell it took us to get here. You don't see the gang stalking. You don't see the attacks. You don't see the threats. People are worried about my clean hair right now, like we didn't have clothes before. I didn't come just straight off Skid Row. We had home. We have things in boxes. We have suitcases of stuff that we couldn't get to. We have had stuff stolen. We can't get to our shit. Okay? So I didn't just jump right off of Skid Row. We have belongings that we can't have. And you've seen it for 2 straight years. Now that you guys seen me for 2 seconds on with makeup, and my hair is washed, and my dandruff is not kicked around my head, and it's another thing. Instagram is reconnecting over and over again. Instagram is connecting over and over again. It's not Facebook. Facebook is fine. Can y'all hear me on Insta? Can you hear me on Insta? I think you can now.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys see all of this. And since you guys saw us sitting on a set yesterday, you think that stuff is just supposed to come out now. That's not how it works. These are normal people that are doing what they can in their power. We got here and we started filming. We started filming from the moment we got out of the car. However, we had to get to the studio. There's other things that are happening in between. We're not just dealing with the series. After the series is released, we have to find a place to tuck into. Before the series is released, we have to clean out the storages that we own. Before we do all that, we have to make it from point A to point B, and so much shit in between that I can't say to you on here, or else we won't make it. Okay. The editor started to film. A lot of people saw a makeup artist, which was another 90, do my makeup in the first segment. Because I was shaking so bad I couldn't do it myself. So in this one, I was trying to do it myself. The editors were supposed to catch that. We ran out of time. We had to rush and get to the studio because everybody was so tired. We got to the studio, and now we're running out of time. Today, if you just met us, we came to see you guys and take some quick shots of where we were. We got that stuff. We got back here. It is now close to 3 o'clock in the morning, or it is 3 o'clock in the morning. And we didn't get that in between of me getting ready. Now we can't record that. You want to know why? Because that's fake. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to pretend and fake with these editors. That's not reality. This right here is the reality of a reality show. If you wanted a reality show, this is the reality right here. The reality is our hands are tied. We're stuck once again. We have editors that have been held at gunpoint, been robbed, been through hell, had people follow them. Right now we have one editor, please pray for them, because they're going through family issues too, so they had to stop. The second that we got here, spiritual warfare started, and this editor's computer right here just shut down. Editor.
Yeah. It's at Apple now.
Our hands are tied. You want to know why our hands are tied? We would have to drive this drive. We would have to drive this little thing. We're on the East Coast. We now have to drive this drive to the West Coast. Put it in an editor's hands and have him pull all the footage that's right here, that's waiting for you to see. Because segment 2, there's a big chunk of it done. We just got to the East Coast. to start filming the little pieces that go in between. It's stuck right here. We have to leave in the next few hours, and the footage is in my hand. We're days away from the other editor. This is the reality. Not a fundraiser. This is the reality. Not a Patreon. Not a membership. I'm not going to fake with you guys and go grab beauty blenders out of a luggage case and put some makeup on and tell you something that I can't even think straight right now. Do you know how much it takes out of... How did you feel after we filmed? Can you explain that to people?
Drained and overwhelmed. Nightmares for like hours. Cold sweats and chills at the same time.
That was
like, yeah, it's real.
And we had the same issue. So guess what? Trying to get up the next day was a bitch. And now we're stuck. But people are beating me up for my hair. But people are beating us up because they think that just because you saw us on a set that things are just supposed to pop out the way you want it to. We're sitting here with editors and he's right here. He's like, all right, I'm right here. I got it. He's not the issue. This is not the issue. He don't mind getting on his fucking camera either in 2 seconds. He don't care. That's not the issue. He's right here. Our hands are tied because the other editor is sitting on another coast. This is the part that people don't want to tell you, though. This is the part that they just hand me some money. What's supposed to fix that? Because guess what? If we get pulled over and we get searched, guess what somebody gonna pull us over for? And then we can expedite this. So somebody's gonna be like, I got an idea. Why don't you just send it to another editor? Do you think this is gonna make it in the mail? Or do you think it's gonna get lost? And turn up in somebody else's hands? What do you think is gonna happen to this? If we take our eyes off this, what do you think is gonna happen to this? We can't leave it with this editor because his computer's not here. His computer shut down the day we got here. So right now, this other editor can't do shit. We have to go to another editor on the West Coast. And that editor is an everyday person that's going through life issues right now. Now, you got other survivors who are like, you have numbers. And because you can hear that man and this woman over here, and maybe the one over here snoring, and you can hear my mother, and you can see other people, that everything is just fine. No, it's not. Because when we leave this state, we're going to have hell for this right here. Because there's a lot of you who want us dead, and you don't want this to get out. That's the reality of shit. And I'm not going to sit here and tell an editor to, okay, let's just try to squeeze this in so this makes sense. Because right now, there's pieces missing from the intro. We can put footage out to you, but do you know how Trump and them keep telling you to trust the plan? Do you know how fucking irritating that is? To hear trust the plan again? To hear hold the line again? To hear hang on again? So, why would I keep doing that to y'all? You see how this is not a joke? Like, I don't know what to... And then you have other victims. I'm echoing. You have other victims who are like, you have numbers and you have this and you have that, so it's over for you. No, it's not. No, it's not, because somebody's about to hunt us down for this shit right here. Because we're trying to make it to one more spot to hand it over to somebody. It's like fucking pass the baton, Lord of the Rings level. I don't know. But people are worried about my hair because I'm clean. Like we didn't come from nowhere where I don't know how to clean myself up. Like we just popped off a Skid Row and you think that I'm supposed to be just rocking in a corner looking like I don't know how to dress myself. You see the problem we just dealt with today, just trying to get to the bathroom? That just stopped everything. The gang stalking we dealt with earlier, that stopped everything. We had to take a minute to figure out what the fuck that was. We had to take a minute to make sure we weren't being followed to the next spot. We had to take a minute to slow down and retrace our steps and make sure that nobody was following us just as much as they already were. And what happened? Now it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Can you, Angel, can you please explain to other editors and other media what kind of footage we're looking at? Because transferring it, let me tell you another thing. It's not as easy either. It's just once I get this, once I pass this to another editor, oh, it's not over. To transfer how many megabytes off of this? How much footage is
27 gigabytes?
27 gigabytes? So if you know in media world what that means, it's too damn big. In media world, that means the files on this is so huge, it's going to take probably 4 to 48 hours to just pull the footage off of this damn thing to start editing it. And people are beating me up talking about you don't care, you out, and for the ones that are in the life still, you just out and you living happily ever after. You got all these people around you. We not working with white hats. We're not working. We don't have any money we rolling in. We all standing in this hotel room trying to figure it out, and we just figured out our hands are tied. My mom and I are gonna get torn apart for this shit. And it's not because we're looking for anybody's benefit or gain. It's because there's other survivors that are like, hello. There's other 90s that are like, we trying to understand. Come on, we ready. And we like, yeah, we ready too. But what's holding us up is this little thing right here. What's holding us up is getting back in our car. What's holding us up is traveling safely with this little thing right here. It's October. It's the month of Satanic Ritual Abuse. It's not just that. But there's so much shit in between. If we had every single editor standing in the same room, this shit would turn over like that. Wouldn't be a problem. We don't have that luxury. But somebody who's holding $40,000, $50,000 fundraisers, they do. It's not about money at this point either. It's about time. See here? Because you can send me money. It ain't going to do shit for this right here. We still have to get this into another editor's hands. That's across the country. We have been driving across the country to try to move footage around the country. We've been driving around the country to move evidence around the country. And you guys have seen all the hell that we've been through to do it. I say fuck it, but that would be quitting. And then I would be breaking a promise once again that I already eat myself for. So since it's a union office to use for a bit, it's not just an office, it's getting the editors in the same room. Can you help me, please? Can you explain to people kind of what's going on from an editor's point of view?
Pretty much just file size and being able to share it through internet in places that don't allow for large access of file data transfer. So it renders speeds of downloading and uploading. Beyond that, it's when you have multiple visions that see the end result as one. Having them in the same room, kind of collaborating, or at least, through Zoom meetings and whatnot is fine, but really connecting together and sharing that kind of same end result is way better when you're next to somebody. And, just kind of collaborating that and putting it together, and the fact that, I don't have all the footage from the original stuff, and he doesn't have all the original or the footage from this stuff, and then sharing back and forth. And like I said, just especially with some of the data that's there, it's not like it's a simple throw it in a FedEx folder and ship it out overnight, which would be super convenient. But the chances of it getting there, like I said, and I have a $4,000 MacBook Pro that's no longer in service because of an electrical failure for a motherboard while I was doing nothing. So, coincidences maybe, but I doubt it.
And on top of that, so guys, this is the footage. So let's go through segment 1. Let's turn you again. This is the footage. Now, this is the meat that we need to get to an editor. The information that's put in between, that's the potatoes. The footage going back into the lives and showing you guys what happened so you guys can understand it, to put it together, to be able to comprehend it so it transitions smoothly, that's the macaroni and cheese. To put the evidence on top of it, that's the seasoning. Then we got to talk about the fonts. Then we got to talk about the music that goes in the background. If you notice in segment 1, I gave up by the time we got to music. I said, fuck it. I was like, just put it out. It's done. Just throw it out. So if you go back and look at segment 1, that little background music, those little violins they play to kind of give you an emotion, it's not there. Because I said, fuck it. Just put it out. And then let's talk about the evidence. The insurance holders are all over the country and all over the world. When we say CPS, we now have to call an evidence holder that holds the CPS files. Once we get a hold of them, remember when we call out for insurance holders and we say, we need this, we need this, we need that. When they finally see that post, they can now go dig in that luggage and in that insurance and say, they need what? Okay, now I got to go through this file and this file and this file and this. Is that it? Nope. This file and this file. Is that it? Nope. This file. 5 hours later, they like, hey, Allie, we found it. They hand it to me. I now have to redact every piece of information that we can get sued for our own information for. Because you can get sued for going on the contents of Biden's laptop and Biden's not arrested. We can get sued for showing you our real information because there's legal seals on documents that if we show you the wrong document, it is illegal. For our own information. Why? Because I was a child. So there is a red seal on some of that paperwork that is justified by the court of law. We then have to go through every single thing and redact this and redact that and redact this and redact that. Because the second we push it out to you, if we end up in a court, you will never see us again, and neither will my mother. We'll separate. Do y'all see our pain? But y'all worried about my hair. Yeah, because that's the last thing that I wanted y'all to tear me apart for. No, it's fresh right now. But it won't be in a little bit because we're going to be traveling so fucking much I won't be able to touch it in a minute. And then guess what? We just grabbed the CPS file from the insurance holders. Now I say, hey, do y'all have that FBI phone call? I need that. We got to call which insurance holder has the FBI phone call. And we have to wait for that insurance holder to say, I got to get off work. I got to deal with my kids. I got life going on. I got to put food on the table. I'll call you when I find it. And then we got people like some of y'all, what the fuck is taking so long? Why didn't they just do this? Why didn't they just do that? Y'all want to see my mama? She's fucking exhausted. Do you notice that she's the only one driving? Because we got to be across the country in the next 48 hours to get to an insurance holder, to get information and evidence, to give to another editor, to put it into the series, to move it to another insurance holder so that if we die, someone else has a copy. But someone tried to tell me, why didn't you just make those copies before you left our home? Because I didn't know that we were going to be ran out of our home by elites who were playing y'all. That's why. So we weren't really prepared for that. We were dealing with a regular day that's kind of like this. So no, we didn't have the time to organize it. And we didn't have angels all across the country when we did. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning and these editors and these angels need to go to bed. Mm-hmm. And then we have to jump up early in the morning and try to figure out what's next before we get out of this state. But this is the real shit that's going on. You got anything?
No. I pray that Adobe Premiere doesn't do its non-responsive thing.
Yeah, you want to see his hand? This is a real person. Look, show your hand. Show your,
Hello.
Whatever you...
So this is Adobe doing what its shit usually does and saying it doesn't want to respond, and we're just gonna wait. And this shit happens. You know, the struggle is real.
And then I feel like I'm bitching when I'm like, it's falling apart. And then they're like, we know we're trying. And I'm like, there's nothing else that we could do. So now y'all are probably about to see us go through hell for this little thing right here.
Like, come on, don't die now.
Thank you for praying for us. We're going to need it. That's what we got. That's all we got. So segment 2 will be out soon, and that's why we're giving up for segment 3. That's why segment 3's got to be live, because I can't do this shit. This shit is tearing me apart in ways that I can't even explain.
Come out there live stream. Yeah.
So this is why we're trying to do it in person. Because the amount of shit, the computers shut down, the people get attacked, people are being physically, spiritually, verbally, mentally, I don't even know which way to tell you, attacked. This is the problem. And now guess what? We have to leave. So if we get pulled over, you start seeing people attack us, you start seeing people going wild, it's because we were trying to get this footage to another editor's hand. Now watch what you see happen. We'll talk to y'all soon.